Welcome to the Freedom to Speak Easy podcast, where there is no prohibition on the First Amendment. Mark Rizzoli, Anthony Diamarin, on this second day of May, and hey, is it global cooling or global warming here? It's freezing outside. But hey, Mark, I was looking for this video, this body cam video down in Old Bridge. I couldn't find it anywhere. Shocking.
No, well, I mean, you have an article on Patch. There was, for those who don't know, there was a shooting in Old Bridge, a police involved shooting with a suspect who was fatally shot. Now you have the father of the suspect, who wasn't even on scene at the time.
Nope.
Was in Jersey City.
Nope.
Does an interview with Patch, and the headline is "Father of Man Killed by Old Bridge Police. This could be your son." Then then he goes on to make some other. I want everyone involved in this held accountable. I want the officer to be held liable. Well, he used excessive force. Well, here's the thing. Where's the video? Because we know if the video showed the cop doing something wrong, it would have been released already. The moment the video can exonerate a cop, Matt Plankton and the rest of those clowns in Trenton always seem to slow everything down and delay the video being released. So let's see the damn video and put an end to this. Because you have a lot of incitement going on in this article, I can tell you that. And it's very disturbing, okay?
You sure do. Mark, you're fired up, and rightfully so. And there's nobody, listen, you're the best person to talk to about this.
I mean,
hey, but Mark, here, you read the article, okay? And I expect the father to defend the child all the time, right? You expect that, okay? I understand that. But then you read a little further down. You got to read all the way down the article.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, you got to read further down the article. You find out
an anonymous neighbor.
Yeah, an anonymous
been fighting there. There's been what we call calls of service there.
Not so quiet.
Exactly.
Not so quiet.
Exactly.
So they've been there before. A lot of times they've been there.
But the reporter here, who I know Carly Baldwin from she used to work in Jersey City.
Right.
So, but the things that are written in this article about rubber bullets and tasering. Now, a knife was found by the suspect's body. I'm not going to speculate, but but just from experience, and for the officer to have fired his weapon, obviously, you could say the suspect was charging him with a knife.
Right.
So thank God he didn't hesitate.
Right.
We might be having a dead cop or a cop with a knife in his face.
Right.
I mean, if we have a history of violence at this home, which was verified by a neighbor.
Yes, it was.
Right?
Yes, it was.
Okay. I have my message to the dad. You should hold yourself accountable.
Right.
Maybe you failed as a parent. Stop everybody always wants to point the finger at law enforcement. There should be some accountability on the family. You know what? The cop's life has changed forever.
Absolutely.
He should sue them.
Listen, as the old saying goes, where do you go to get your reputation back after it's been tarnished through the mud?
What's he held? Accountable, liable. Right away they want to sue. I mean, you even have George Floyd mentioned in this article.
Absolutely ridiculous.
You talk about trying to incite violence in a community. I mean, it's just so reckless.
George Floyd, the cop responded to
he was called there.
Right. He was called there. Yeah. He was called there.
Obviously, they've been called there.
Right. He knows. They know whoever the cop is. Probably knew exactly where the hell, where the place was. Been there, maybe been there before. Who knows? But the point is, though, is that you show up to this thing. God knows what's going on. Somebody's probably wielding a freaking weapon at you. All right. What do you expect to do? What do you want to do? You're gonna negotiate with the person?
Well, listen. I mean, if the guy was charging with a knife, he hesitated, the cop could have been dead.
Mark, I learned this in the first grade.
Here's what it comes down to. Unfortunately, we have people in our society now, meaning these radical Democrats, who want to see the bad guy come out on top.
All the time.
That's what the problem is. They don't want to see the good guy come out on top. This goes every level. Not just law enforcement.
Right.
Whether it's in the schools.
That's why the video is
every level. I mean, but that's the thing. If we both know, and everybody out there who's watching this, you all know, if the cop was wrong, if this was a wrongful shooting, the damn video would have been all over the left-wing media.
You would have been protesting down Route 9 already.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
The father's trying to incite.
Right.
And the article, it's unbelievable. This article.
It sounds like honestly, he talks about liable. It's a payday.
That's all right.
It's a payday.
If you're so concerned about your son, you're talking about money right away.
The blood on his death pit is not even dry yet, and you're worried about talking about.
So I hope once the video's out, and if it's going to exonerate the cop, I'm very confident, because because just the fact the video's not out yet.
Right, that's the point. That's why I opened.
That really tells you all you need to know.
That's why I opened up with it. Was I didn't see the video, and the reason, and exactly as you said, the reason why we don't see it is because it doesn't fit a narrative. If it doesn't fit their narrative that the cop is to blame, as I said, if the cop is guilty, there would have been protests already, led by some of your. I got to admit, you got some kooky freaking Democrats down here in Old Bridge.
I'm going to get into that in a minute. Okay, but just so everybody knows, no one stands roll call talking about going out and shooting anyone or hurting anyone. I mean, that's a fallacy. That's what people like, Al the Criminal's Pal Sharpton wants to put out there, and all this nonsense. And even the Democrats here in New Jersey.
Right.
You notice, no one, and I understand it's an active investigation, but let's see an elected official.
Right.
I stand by the cop until evidence proves otherwise.
Right.
Right. You're not interfering in the investigation.
Right.
Listen, to keep your community safe, you have to piss some people off. That
Absolutely.
means criminals. It's going to happen. I mean, I've stopped people. It's amazing when you get a description. All of a sudden, everybody comes out with the same color clothes.
Right.
You stop someone, thanks for your cooperation, have a nice day. You can move on. But also, when something bad happens, you have to take the cops back.
Right.
Because, listen, right now, everything's stacked against them.
Well,
he or she goes to work. No one wants to be involved in a shooting. No one wants to be put. But here's the thing. When are the parents going to hold themselves accountable? Right away, the dad, I want someone held accountable.
He wants somebody to blame.
Look in the goddamn mirror. Where have you been? Obviously, you live in Jersey City. Your son lives in Old Bridge with the mom.
And according to the neighbor, there's constant arguing, constant fighting there. And I'm sure a lot of that is domestic stuff. I'm sure it was between the husband. They were divorced. They were getting divorced.
Listen, it just goes to show, and any cop will tell you this: the domestic violence calls are extremely dangerous to write in on and respond to. And I would like to know what's the arrest history of this of the suspect or anyone in the household. Right. So there's a lot of things here that
let's release it all.
This is just unbelievable how we're going through this George Floyd thing again and the excessive force. But like you said, here's what happened in Old Bridge, right? This has been brewing this anti-cop sentiment's been brewing down there because you've had the Old Bridge Democrats. Right? You had a former councilwoman, Adina Brown, who sent an email, so she was claiming everybody's racist. She said that I did a video encouraging people to shoot blacks. She's yet to produce that video. Yet to produce, because she's a liar. Someone who hid behind her race. I could care less. You hide behind your race, Adina. Claimed that Councilwoman Anita Greenberg-Belli was racist. Yet to produce any evidence. The Old Bridge Democrats called everybody racist. Current mayoral candidate Jill DeCaro claims the town has a systemic racist problem. Prove it. You owe it to the taxpayers of Old Bridge now to produce that evidence, okay? Because the Old Bridge Police Department, has never been investigated by the Middlesex County prosecutors for having any type of racist problem or where they targeted specific races on traffic stops or anything. There's no such investigation exists. But yet, we had that. We had the Old Bridge Board of Ed sign off on a BLM protest outside town hall, which the police department's located, okay? Which was amazing because no plan to reopen a school, but we could do a BLM protest because remember COVID never spread.
No, it's skipped over.
Then we had protests for this Adina Brown thing, calling everybody racist and everything, but no evidence. And all those people are running for office now in Old Bridge, and all the Old Bridge residents need to understand that. Do you want a safe community, or do you want a community because they have that anti-cop sentiment, which now they're trying to walk away from, but you can't allow them to, okay? Yeah. They want to bring this element to town.
Right.
They want pots. They want to rescind the marijuana ordinance. They want marijuana sold throughout the township or a township of families.
Didn't you have needle exchanges too? Somebody wanted.
Well, yeah. They want needle exchanges. They want everything, more affordable housing, which makes everybody else's life unaffordable because there's no way to pay for it. So they want all these things, but they can't produce any documentation that's good for a community.
Listen.
You have the mayoral candidate who says she don't know how to read a budget, but yeah, you're running for mayor. But you have no problem calling everybody else extreme. I'm an extremist because I stood up for the kids. I stood up for the kids with the masks and everything.
Oh, how dare you!
They can't produce any evidence. And here now you have one of the Old Bridge finest here now being slandered, because to me this is slander, right?
Right.
To do an article like this where it's one-sided.
Right.
clearly a hit job.
And you know what? He's got to work now.
I hope the cop, after he's officially exonerated, sues everybody on their side.
Take the screen. Take the notes.
Sue Patch.
Absolutely.
Sue everybody.
Sue them all. And you
Go
know,
after the home insurance. File a lawsuit because your life's changed. Your life's changed too.
Mark, you know what? The Democrat Party, tell me if I'm wrong, only exists in chaos. They want chaos.
Yeah.
They want to break down the system. They want to break down the function.
Well, what's the common theme?
The civil society.
They want to bring anarchy to a community.
That's what they want.
You know, when I was discussing the illegal immigration thing, you had Ober's Democratic County Committee woman Lorraine Kelly come in and say, trying to justify illegal immigration because they're people who mow our lawns, clean our homes, and watch our kids.
Well,
whoa! And you're calling me a racist? Yeah. What was that? Well, here's the
people
thing.
in a box.
Here's my thing for her. When are you going to have illegal immigration day at the Lake Ridge Pool? Because that's the one common theme, Anthony. They wanted everybody else's neighborhoods, but their own.
They've got walls around their homes. You know? They got walls around their homes. They don't want it on the southern border. That's typical. Right. It's like Nancy Stretch Pelosi over there. All right. Same thing. But you know what, though? Mark, this party only exists when they want to break it down. They want the civil society. They want Route 9 to be lined up and riots breaking these into small businesses. And you know what? There's never any proof. They don't care. Facts don't matter.
There is no proof. There's no proof for anything here involving this. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, as we we see this stuff happen, and I was going to say this before. I learned in the first grade. I'm not a former law enforcement officer like you are. All right, you're a former detective. All right, I learned in the first grade through my uncle, who was God rest his soul, was a cop. He said, you know, I knew cops carried a gun. Number one. Okay, and they had real bullets inside of them. All right, and my uncle he told me this one time. He said one time he told me. He goes, you know, you get pulled over, especially when you get pulled over. All right, and this goes in any scenario. All right, you keep your mouth shut. Number one, you show respect. I don't care. He said, if you're getting blamed for murder, if you're putting murder on you, all right, it don't matter. He says, you know two reasons why. He goes, number one is that officer does not know. You don't get an altercation. You don't make your case on the side of the road. The officer doesn't know if you have a weapon or whatever. And he goes, you also don't know if that officer thinks he's John F. Rambo. And he's 100% right. He goes, in either scenario, you lose. You lose in either case. You keep your mouth shut. You fight for another day. So if this kid, if this guy is wielding something at an officer for whatever the reason, maybe he thought that for whatever the reason, all right, you know an officer. The officer's been at your house a million times. All right, as we know from this article, a ton of times. All right, you think you would have a little more brains. All right. And the father, you think the father would have a little more brains to know this stuff? He knew what was going on. He knew. He spoke to the.
Well, listen. As an investigator, you're supposed to keep your mind open to all different things.
No, I get you. I understand that.
The question was it suicide by cop?
Yeah.
I mean, did this individual have mental issues? I mean, you and I don't know because nothing's proven in the article, right? It's like, you know, everything was left out. You know, we have a thing. Everything's left out except the communion photo.
Well, you know, it's funny
because we want to paint this picture like the officer did something wrong. Well, you know, if you go to any of these classes, there you can do a scenario where it's impossible for you to go into a situation where when someone's come at you, if you don't have your weapon right in a controlled situation where it's trained, you're not gonna be able to go and come out. And then you talk about rubber bullets.
Well, not even. That's what I was gonna go into. Hold on. I was gonna go into this. I was gonna say, you know, the father says, why doesn't he shoot him in the leg or something? Yeah. Now, let me say this. Does his father say to, hey, why don't we ever say, hey, why didn't the suspect ever just wheel it at, you know, just go for, no, they don't get the benefit of the doubt. It's always the good guy has to get the good guy's got to freaking, you know.
I can't, that's why I couldn't see the video, because you could turn around and say, well,
I want to see the video.
Why did he respond to the officer's command?
Right.
Which I'm sure he probably told him to drop the weapon.
Right.
And he kept coming.
Right. They're gonna make you think that this cop went in there. You know what? I'm gonna blast them all the way. I'm tired of going. That's. I mean, you kind of get that feeling there. You know what? He was gonna commit first-degree murder, knowing on his way there. Come on.
Listen, police are trained to shoot center mass.
Jeez.
You're not. You know, that's Joe Biden's side of the whole thing about winging people.
You know.
I mean, really. I mean, you're gonna take police advice, how to go out there and survival training from Joe Biden.
So, Mark, you have down in Oak Ridge, you have elections coming up, correct?
Yeah, all these anti-cop people are now running. Okay,
right.
Now they want, you don't think they deleted stuff and everything, but they ran anti-cop protests. They were calling everybody racist. They want to bring nothing but bad things to the town, and this is why all this sentiment that's been going on in town with this false narrative that the town is racial, and No evidence has been produced.
Yeah.
The former councilwoman, Adina Brown, has produced zero evidence to anything. Okay, totally fabricated because everybody wants to be the new Al, the criminal's pal Sharpton. That's everybody's hero.
You know, and who?
Okay, and it's a Democrat narrative, right?
He's the biggest racist.
If you don't agree with them, you're a racist. You're a xenophobe. You know, we're so many phobes.
How do you defend against that?
We should be hospitalized.
I know. It's sick. You know? It's sick. And
as long as we're on these microphones, we're going to stand by. Absolutely. We're going to stand by. When I was on the council, I always stood by the police.
No, you did. You did.
So I really hope the police unions, not even thinking about supporting the Old Bridge Democrats because they've been anti-cop. I mean, they've made posts. It's fun before all these school shootings have started occurring again. They were saying the cops should be pulled out of the school. They're like secretaries. And you had other ones making comments about they kill people, hide behind the unions. It's just unbelievable. So I'm not shocked when you see an article like this about occurring about an incident, being put out there after an incident like that occurred, because that is what the sentiment that has been getting out there. The Old Bridge Democrats have been putting out. They hide behind their keyboards. They have these fake Facebook pages, right. Old Bridge, New Jersey residents. It's really a socialist page.
Right.
All they do is slander people.
Propaganda.
But you know what's great? They actually think there's no civil liability when they have it. That's the funniest thing about it.
They want to put rubber bullets in all the cops' guns. You know what? Here's the thing though. Until you need the cop coming to your house. Until you need, God forbid, if you're in a situation.
Well, listen, we see what it's all about. Be held liable. I want the officer held liable. How about you're held liable? How about you look in the mirror and question yourself? Right. What kind of parent were you?
As one council person once told me, it's crazy season now. You're gonna have the crazies come out here now and try to politicize this thing. It's just not to politicize, in my opinion.
But we're not. Listen. We're gonna see soon. Where's the video?
That's exactly it. Where's the video?
This is why the video should be released immediately. It's released when something bad's happened, right? What happened?
Absolutely.
And all these other incidents, the video was out right away.
Unbelievable.
Put the video out, exonerate the cop, because obviously we all know the video exonerates the cop. That's why it's not out.
Right.
So they're going to allow this stuff to linger because that's what they like to do down in Trenton. The Phil Murphy gang loves identity politics.
Right.
So I really hope Police Officer Hamill hires an attorney and sues these people for slander.
Right.
Patch, I know Patch was recently sued by a former senator for slander because this is absolutely ridiculous. This was a hit piece, no doubt about it. I mean, to even throw in George Floyd, it tells you all you need to know.
Don't even get me
all you need to know.
It is incredible. It is absolutely incredible.
And the mayor, listen, I understand it's an investigation, but you know what? Get out there and say, you know what? I stand by my police officer until otherwise proven.
He's awfully quiet.
I mean, come on.
He's awfully quiet a lot. It's just.
I mean, really.
Bizarre.
You have to stand. You have to put the big boy pants on.
Absolutely,
sometimes.
you do. Especially when the big boy job.
Sometimes things like this happen. Unfortunately,
it is.
Any cop will tell you no one wants to be involved in a situation like that.
No. That's the other thing. This poor person, the cop, walks. Do you think the cop woke up?
What makes anybody believe when the cop entered the residence?
Right.
That he had time to try to
who knows?
De-escalate.
Well, let's see the video.
You don't know. That's right.
Let's see the video.
That's what I mean. Who knows? You don't know the moment you walk through that door what you encounter. Listen, you never know what's on the other side of that door.
Mark, tell me if I'm wrong here. This has maybe an unintended consequence. Is that we to recruit good cops now going forward?
Well,
you're creating a situation here for law enforcement officers that is so different. You're taking away, as I say, the instinctive thing, because you got cameras all over the place. Fine, but why would somebody? It's like look at it. Go see the Attorney General's office. As soon as now the person's life is completely changed forever. Not only was somebody has died, okay, all right. He didn't wake up that morning hoping somebody died, but he had to protect himself. That's what he had to do. All right. Now it's under investigation. His life has changed. All these lives are changed now.
Yeah.
But on top of it though, then you have these politicians, these would-be politicians who demonize, who basically tell you. You know what? Why become a cop now? If you seriously, why go through this nonsense that you got to go through to protect the community?
Well, listen,
99.9 of them are great.
This is why police recruitment's down. That's why you're not getting a high quality candidate.
Yeah, rhetoric like this by these idiot politicians.
That's why
we've done nothing. They've done nothing.
But this is why Phil Murphy had the AG implemented this plan where the AG takes over this stuff, because he was trying to imply that the internal affairs in each department or the prosecutor's office was unable to handle this.
Right. Like his
objectively,
like his office is so moral.
So, but to me, audio video of this that says it all. Okay, it should be released immediately, not
absolutely.
It says what the AG said. It's a current investigation. Well,
right.
You watched the video yet?
Right.
Matt Plankton, who worked for Phil Murphy, is a partisan hack.
Right. Oh, please.
He worked on Phil Murphy's staff.
Don't even get me started.
So he's going to tell everybody now how you should police.
It's like it's the state police colonel too. Another one, another disgrace on that Rutgers thing. We'll get into that another time. But I'm going to tell you this though. This type of stuff, though, you got to read all the way. And that's the other thing. You would have to, if you were just reading the headline, you would think, oh my goodness gracious. Like, we're going to have riots here soon.
The interview with.
You got to go on to find out where we really get the facts now.
Well, the interview with the neighbor who said there was always problems.
That's hit it all the way at the bottom purposely. What a joke. What an absolute disgrace. I honestly, I hope everybody, listen, fortunately somebody lost their life, and that's terrible. But you know what, though? At the end of the day, you're in a situation, you pull up, you don't know any of the facts. You open the door, you got somebody you got it this fast, this quick's the thing. You know what I mean? Hey, you really these politicians are doing some big time damage here. Big time damage to the law enforcement.
Understand this, right? So you have, I don't know, you have the officer's family who has to read this stuff. It's stressful.
Absolutely.
It's stressful on everybody.
Yeah.
But no one takes that into account. What do they just think? The officer goes home like nothing happened?
Hope he's being protected. This officer, honestly.
In this climate, you don't think he's stressed that someone?
Oh, absolutely.
You're going before a grand jury.
His life has changed forever
too. You could lead a grand jury any way you want. I mean, listen. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, he has to deal with his family. He has to deal with his wife, his children.
Right.
His mom, his dad. I mean, everybody has family.
He's got a life too. Exactly. He's got relationships.
At the end of the day, it wasn't the cops' fault, right? Obviously, because it would be out there. The video would be out there. It would be in the article.
Unbelievable. It's just a sad story. Sad story, and we hope we hope this cop.
Well, we're going to post the video.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Matter of fact, I think we posted some Twitter posts by that Jill DeCaro where she was attacking parents on Twitter who I hate to change the subject, but I just want to paint the picture of these
She's running for mayor, correct?
Yeah. She was calling parents. They were full of hate because they were speaking out against the radical sex curriculum. There. All that stuff.
Does she defend? Is she fighting for the parents? No. She's not.
Well, she wanted the mass, you know. But it's funny. Everybody else is an opportunist for running for office, but she ran for Board of Ed council, now mayor. I mean, who's the real opportunist?
Right, exactly.
I mean, they all point the finger, but it's comical.
Career politicians, that's a problem. They want to move up the ladder, but
I mean, here's an incident in Middlesex County. Where's all the Middlesex County people? Where's the commissioners? Where's everyone?
Right.
I don't see these people ever come out and support.
You know damn right that if it would have leaked already, it would have leaked already.
Right.
You would have had visuals. You would have had this. You would have that. You would have again. Route 9 would have been flooded. So
yeah. Well, listen. Before we go, but about supporting police from the administrative way, it's on every level because people don't understand the internal makeups.
Right.
Sometimes you have a BA who gives the cops a hard time. You have other members of the administration. I mean, there's a lot of things that people within government need to understand.
Right.
You need to support your police officers because, as I said on this show, the foundation of any community is public safety and education. That is what maintains your quality tax base, right? Your local economy.
Yep.
I mean, there's proof everywhere. Without that, look at Newark, Camden, Patterson, Jersey City years ago was trending in that direction before the police working with the mayors of years ago who understood what it was about and built the town up.
Right.
But you see failing communities throughout, not just New Jersey, the country, when you don't have that public safety education, you have a failing community.
Right.
Here we have the suburbs in Middlesex County where people move here because the communities are families. They don't want pot shops.
Right.
They don't want excessive affordable housing, which makes your life unaffordable because how do you pay for it? Schools overwhelmed. That's why they leave that stuff behind.
They leave the city to come to the suburbs to and that goes for every race and religion and which mind you, every single one.
Right.
We're not excluding anybody.
But people, every town throughout Middlesex County, state of New Jersey, not just we're talking Oberst because of the shooting.
Right.
Need to make a decision. Do you want to live in a safe community You know, or you want to live in a politically correct one.
Mark, you
right?
Yes.
What do you want to live in? You want to have a political correct community where you got to worry about people climbing in your window at night? We see it right now. Towns under siege with auto theft. I've never seen so many home invasions.
Right.
So that's what you need to ask yourself that in Old Bridge. And make these people produce documentation. All they do is say things and throw it to the wall.
Right.
I'm still waiting for that video. You know, where's the evidence about the councilwoman, Nita Greenberg-Belli, all the disgusting stuff? Matter of fact, one of the people on that ticket actually ambushed her in the parking lot with a videotape and harassing her and everything. But this is the type of people out there. Now they want everybody to forget that. They hide behind keyboards and everything. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, if you can't read a budget, you think you should run for office. It's just comical.
It is comical. I'll say this. When I was, and just to touch on one of your last points here, when I was special assistant in Edison to the mayor, we created a show called Cop Chat, which was with the community-oriented policing unit, right? And it was a live interactive. I hosted it, and it was with a couple members of the community policing unit, and we had a live interaction with residents in real time. They would ask questions and stuff. And I'm not one of these people that I think in a right department, you need community policing. You need a section of that. Absolutely. But you just need, you could create something like that to have interaction, to discuss these types of things, So and like you said, I had to run things. I had to get approval from the BA. That's the way our system worked. BA was in charge a lot. So was as the mayor was. But, it depends on how your system of government is. But you should have that. You could have that dialogue. Every time I drive through Old Bridge, Mark, I've never had an issue over there. I've never seen any problems. I've never seen any racism. I've never seen any type of this stuff. It seems like a very, very, very nice place to live. Honestly, it's a great place to live. So it's amazing. But hey,
well, yeah, I mean, all the so-called profile and everything. It was, but
come up. But my point is though, Mark, is that if these politicians where's their solutions? Come up with it. Why all they do is complain and honestly, they lie. They lie through their damn teeth, and just to get elected, stir the pot and get elected. And I'd like to see this DeCaro person come up with a solution. Right. I came up with Cop Chat. Come up with a solution. What do you got for us?
There's no solution.
There is no. She's a liar.
It's all about their identity politics. Yeah, they're not about solutions.
Give me a break.
About lies. Well, look, before we go, I just want the dad, call him out, Luis Mendez, and reporter Carly Baldwin. Please produce some evidence that substantiates the statements in this article, because you would think he was there and witnessed it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And is Carly is she gonna read that? Is she gonna have a follow up
right.
article?
So. I hope the video. I can't wait to get the video. We're gonna post it.
Weapon wielding, individual shot by cop. I mean,
what's the delay?
Yeah, where's the delay on that? That's it.
And I left that it's an investigation that has to go before the grand jury. Yeah. But every other time when there's something negative with a cop on video, it's released before grand jury.
Yes.
So where's the video now? Because we all know, and I'm going to keep saying it, because the video exonerates the officer, so that's why the video is not out. That is why it's not out. Well, and prove me otherwise.
Exactly.
Prove it.
Well, with that being said, Mark, as we enter our last call here, and I see, and just to change topics here, and I see you with your special shirt.
Yeah, listen.
Special shirt. Was there a game or something that I missed?
The Devils knocked off the Rangers in Game 7 last night, 4-0. And where are all those Ranger fans who were messaging me? You all entered the Witness Protection Program now. It's just unbelievable. Where are you? I had a guy with the academy with Tony Savasa was texting me like crazy. After the first two games.
Was the game 7 in Jersey? Was it in Jersey?
Yeah, yes, it was at the Rock last night.
All right.
Everybody's in all those Ranger fans in a Witness Protection Program now. Don't worry about it. Good series.
All right. Well, listen. My last call here is going to be, and I'm gonna give you a shout out, man, because I'm hearing more and more of it.
I want to call out my friend Corey. He's a retired cop.
Okay.
He's a big Ranger fan. Everybody's on the ground. Don't worry about it.
It's the day after.
I have a towel from the game last night. You can wipe your tears away.
Post-mortem. As I listen, and I even our friends over at NJ 1015, cameras in the classroom. I've been seeing. And Mark, they've been talking about it.
Yeah.
There was an incident. I forgot where the incident was, where they shook the child up or something like that, and they brought up the question: cameras in the classroom. Mark, I think you were the first one I heard bring this one up. That point up. So I commend you on that one. We're ahead of the game here at the Speakeasy, and hey, cameras in a classroom. We're asking all of you guys, what do you think about that? Would you want to keep an eye on on your student and on your child during the day, I'm sure there'll
Well,
be.
let's clarify though.
Yeah.
When we say cameras, we're not talking about a live feed.
No.
For parent or for investigative purposes, you want to get a
Or some
copy of
creep,
it.
or some creep coming in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you want to hear what was taught.
Right, exactly.
Because
audio.
if you have nothing to hide with the curriculum, you should want to camera in the classroom. Do that. But I mean, it's something that has to be done.
But you hear more and more of it, and Mark, you've been bringing it up. We've been talking about it here, so more and more talk about that. We'd like to hear from more of you guys. Put it in the comments. And
before we go, don't forget. Listen, a lot of trouble with voting machines in Middlesex County. I would suggest if you have to go to work that day, vote early or vote by mail. I know a lot of people want to hear it, but if you show up at 6 a.m., machines down, you might not make it back from work in time to vote.
Right.
So either vote early or vote by mail. You have to get your ballots back.
You see the weather the last few days? I mean, if you get a bad weather day here, hey, you don't want any problems. If you got the vote by mail, send it in. Return it, send it back in. Okay.
I mean, listen, you don't want your community to turn into one of these.
No, you don't want
that. You see that's controlled by radical Democrats.
Again, guys, freedomtospeakeasy.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
Have a good day.
Take care, everybody.
Let's go, Devils.